A mom friend of a classmate's child turned out to be a greedy person who always wanted what others had. The prime properties are all mine. She bragged about having an affair with my husband and seemed proud of her conquest. I'm going to marry your husband with an annual income of $300,000. I'm pregnant, and we're having our wedding ceremony next month. I let her dream for a while, but then she fell into the abyss on her own. I'm going to talk about the time when this mom friend stole my husband. My name is Lindsay, and I'm 42 years old. I've been married to Alex for 16 years, and we have 2 children. One in elementary school and the other in middle school. Our 2 children are very close to my parents, which means they're grandparents, and often go to play at my parents' house, which is just a 2-minute walk from our house. My parents take them to local community events in my place. Thanks to this, even though I can't often show my face due to work, I have a good relationship with the people in our community association. On a day off when there was a community association gathering, I decided to show up. And Candace, a mom friend from the same community association, and the mother of my younger child's classmate, said to me, "You're so lucky to have parents who can watch your kids. And such a wonderful husband, Lindsay, you're really blessed." Honestly, I really dislike this mom friend, Candace. At school events, she'd evaluate the other dads, commenting on how handsome or wealthy they seemed. Seeing Candace say she'd like to swap husbands, I kept my distance. But I didn't expect to run into her at the community association. It's always your parents who come to the community association meetings, isn't it? I haven't seen your husband around lately either. Are both of you busy? As Candace tilted her head and asked, I replied, "We often have to work even on Saturdays." She then said, "It's just not fair, Lindsay. I'd love to skip out too, but since my husband uses work as an excuse not to attend, I have no choice but to go." Despite work being the reason, I don't understand why I'm being called unfair. There was a clear difference in attitude between me and Candace. Continuing the conversation, Candace said, "By the way, I saw your husband the other day and couldn't help but say hello. He looked so handsome in his suit. And working for a major company, too. I'm really jealous." Confused by Candace suddenly bringing up my husband, I asked, "A major company?" She laughed loudly and said, it's fine. There's no need to lower your husband's appeal. I won't steal him." Well, I guess it's inevitable that you feel insecure. With a beauty like me around, it must be unsettling. And with such a wonderful husband, you might feel inadequate. Candace looked me up and down as if evaluating me and snorted through her nose. Indeed, on my days off, I always wear glasses and hoodies. From Candace's point of view, my casual attire must seem dreadful. But then again, my husband isn't particularly handsome and his appearance is average. It's not for others to say we're not a good match. As I continued to smile politely at Candace's words, "Honestly, I'd like to swap your husband for mine." Laughing as she spoke, Candace made it easy for me to excuse myself and approach someone else to escape the situation. When I vented to my husband about this, he said, "That's a bit unpleasant. I'll go in your place." Hesitant at first, my husband reassured me, "Don't worry, I'm not interested in someone so self-centered. With a wonderful person like Lindsay around, I wouldn't dream of cheating. I'll definitely refuse if anything weird comes up, so it's fine." From then on, my husband started attending the community association meetings. I think this was the beginning of a nightmare. Previously, my husband only attended events or meetings when participation was mandatory. But lately, he seemed to be going to the community association gatherings more frequently. Even though I found it strange, I was too busy with work and focused solely on the kids. One day, I saw a notification on my husband's phone. It was a message from Candace to my husband asking, "When can we meet next?" The content clearly suggested they were having an affair. Knowing the truth, my heart was wounded, but my emotions remained calm. This was partly because my parents had hinted. "Don't you think Alex is a bit too close to another mom?" I had suspected Candace was getting too close. But I had no proof of an affair and I wanted to trust my husband. Yet, seeing my husband's recent high spirits, deep down, I felt something was off. Just because I had anticipated it didn't mean I could forgive the affair. After confirming my husband's infidelity, I was furious and wanted to confront them both. However, looking at pictures of our children, I hesitated. I decided to observe them for a while to gather evidence. Eventually, it became clear that my husband had visited Candace's house. Just as I was considering hiring a detective or a lawyer, my husband said he needed to talk. Sitting down, he abruptly confessed to the affair. At that moment, all I could think about was our life after divorce. The fact of his cheating had become almost irrelevant to me. More than anything, I wondered if he would actually pay compensation. Whether he had the intention to pay child support, and if he could afford it. My thoughts about my husband were filled with such practical concerns. It felt odd not to be more upset, so I thought about confronting him strongly with, "Who is she?" When my husband spoke to me, it snapped me back to reality. I was just shocked and couldn't find the words. I said, "Oh, I see. I'm also confused. Actually, the other woman is Candace." Surprised, he asked. Knowing the truth, I wasn't really surprised, but I pretended to be shocked. "Indeed, I'm shocked. Despite your promises of fidelity, you've betrayed me." I tried to sound sad, and he responded, "No, it was just a fling. I still love you, Lindsay. I don't want to divorce someone as wonderful as you." I had so much I wanted to say to my selfish husband but managed to contain my anger. Barely saying, "Let's talk about this," with the three of us. As the conversation continued, my husband revealed that Candace had persistently invited him to community association events, leading to their affair. Though he had tried to end it, their relationship had dragged on for over 6 months. "So, you knew divorce was inevitable after cheating, right?" I asked. "Like I said, I don't want to divorce." But Candace seems serious, saying I have to take responsibility. He replied irresponsibly. It turned out that my husband and Candace had been meeting not just at community events but also during weekdays. "And what do you want to do?" Even when asked, he replied, "I don't know what's best." His indecisiveness was frustrating. "Whether we divorce or not, we're drafting an agreement. Please read this." I wrote down the terms on the spot, concerning money and our children. Then, I took his phone and arranged a meeting with Candace. I told my husband to think about what he wanted within a few days, and slept in a different room that night. By morning, although he claimed to have struggled to sleep, I had slept soundly, feeling relieved that a resolution seemed near. A few days later, I went to Candace's house, using my husband as a shield, and rang the doorbell. Candace, surprised to see me, soon invited us in with a laugh. "Oh, so he told you everything, huh?" As we were supposed to discuss the matter, my husband quickly excused himself to the bathroom. "So, what do you want to talk about?" Candace asked, unapologetically. When I asked if she had anything to say, she replied, "I won't apologize. Did you really think you could compete with someone like me?" She crossed her legs and took on a haughty attitude. "What do you mean by, someone like me?" I asked. "Well, you always look like you've just rolled out of bed on your days off. A low-educated, cheap woman like you couldn't possibly secure a catch like him," she said, infuriating me with her cruelty. "What?" Why should I be insulted by someone as frivolous as you? I stood up and spoke firmly. At that moment, my husband came out of hiding, sat next to Candace, and comfortingly asked, "Scary, wasn't it? Are you okay?" Candace looked at me with a triumphant expression, as if she had won. "Is that really how you feel? That your affair partner is more important and your insulted wife, me, doesn't matter?" As I turned to my husband and asked, he hastily withdrew his arm from around her. Amidst this, Candace started to cry, saying, "Insults? I've done nothing of the sort. It wasn't me who called me a frivolous woman. Even if we made a mistake, there's no need to say such things. Making a fragile woman cry, I didn't know you were so cruel. I'm disappointed. What is this man misunderstanding? Why should I be the one scolded when he's the one who did something deserving of anger?" I nearly lost my temper, but I managed to hold back. Alex, who can only see his affair partner Candace, is holding her hand, saying he'll protect her, and they're looking into each other's eyes. What am I being shown here? Amidst all this, I had taken time off work, only for it to feel wasted. Suddenly, he said, "I want to divorce you. Prepare the divorce papers, I want you to agree. Just a few days ago, you said it was all just fun. What a change of heart. All right, if that's your decision, then I have my conditions. Stay away from me and the kids from now on. And you will have to pay compensation." When I said this, the husband reacted to the mention of compensation. "I'm not going to pay that. If you're not going to pay, then we can't divorce smoothly." Candace, trying to calm him down, said, "I'll pay that amount for him. Who pays is up to you. So then I'll be claiming from both of you." I demanded $30,000 from my husband and $20,000 from Candace. Compared to our future expenses, this is nothing. Hesitant at first, my husband agreed the agreement after seeing Candace sign it nonchalantly. Now we have nothing to do with each other, right? Please, you leave now. Candace, with a look of disdain, kicked me out of the house. Soon after, she divorced her husband. I ensured she paid her part of the compensation before escaping responsibility. The money came from Candace's savings. Then, my husband and I filed our divorce officially with a notarized document. Candace complained, "Because of you, my savings are almost gone." However, since she brought this upon herself, I felt no sympathy for her complaints. Later on, Candace and my ex-husband faced opposition from their parents, especially from my ex-in-laws, who even pleaded on their knees for reconciliation. I told them, the divorce is due to my husband's affair and his decision. So I will take care of the children, and ask them not to contact us anymore. A month later, I ran into Candace at a school event. It seems she occasionally comes to pick up the children, though custody is with her ex-husband. I tried to ignore her, but she stopped me. Candace bragged, "I've got a husband with an annual income of $300,000 now. We registered our marriage yesterday. And I'm pregnant. We're having our wedding ceremony next month." Apparently, Candace's pregnancy made the parents accept the marriage. Congratulations. I couldn't help but laugh at her remark, for the $300,000 annual income was mine, not my unemployed ex-husband's. Yet, Candace still seemed unaware of his true situation. 300,000 annual income? What are you talking about? I asked, teasing her a bit. I'm talking about my husband. Your ex-husband, Alex. While emphasizing ex, Candace spoke. Don't you mean debt instead of annual income? Candace laughed, not understanding the question. My ex doesn't have a $300,000 annual income. Because... Before I could finish, Candace interrupted, "Stop being jealous. Are you trying to ruin our relationship to get him back? It's pathetic to chase after someone's husband at your age." Candace, slightly older than me, accused me of such. Amidst all this, it's almost bewildering how oblivious Candace is to her own actions. Upon hearing that she was pregnant, I considered informing her out of pity, but decided against it after being so harshly spoken to. I'm not thinking anything of the sort. More importantly, why hasn't the compensation been paid? I changed the subject to the matter of compensation, which was overdue by several days. Oh, that. I've been told to pay compensation by my ex-husband, and we're currently disputing it, so wait a bit. I was astounded by her response. What? You need to pay me first before paying the ex-husband, I said, only to receive an off-base reply that Alex's portion had already been paid. So, when will you pay your part? I'm currently asking my ex-husband for the money from our property division, so just wait. It seemed Candace was counting on her husband's savings. Always about the money with you. That's why you got cheated on. You must have been asking Alex for money all the time. Fed up with Candace's rude remarks, I decided it was time to set things straight. The one who's really disgraceful here is you, isn't it? It's my right to receive compensation for what you've done, I asserted. Laughing off my statement, Candace seemed unsettled and called her ex-husband, asking, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" Listening in, I doubted she couldn't hear the truth. Over the phone, I could hear him say he was at work, which made Candace smugly accuse me of lying. I'll know once I see the pay slips, but you're not doubting him, right? Why not check after your wedding next month, if you're so confident? Just don't forget about the compensation. If it's not paid within a week, I'll proceed with legal enforcement, I told her before leaving. Days later, the compensation was paid. When Candace called, she said, I paid it from the division of property from my ex-husband. Now, we have nothing to do with each other. Considering Alex's salary, it was a small price to pay. Candace seemed to still trust her ex-husband, then stated she would block further contact before hanging up. About 2 weeks later, I heard from friends that their wedding was lavishly celebrated. Though not invited, I wondered where the money came from. Suspecting Alex might have had hidden savings. Then Candace contacted me, exasperated, accusing, "What's the meaning of this? Your ex-husband is a dud. You made me curious." So I confronted him after the wedding only to find out there's no pay slip. What a thing to say now. That's exactly what I told you, I responded when she accused me like, "You didn't deny it when I said he worked for a major company. You deceived me too." I didn't deny it because I didn't understand what you meant. I did ask you back, didn't I? I replied when she accused me of deceiving her because she saw him in a suit coming out of a large company. That must have been my ex-husband job hunting. In reality, my ex-husband has been a perpetual job seeker. He's been at home ever since causing trouble at work 2 years ago. We weren't struggling financially, so I wasn't pushing him, but an affair changed the equation. Plus, despite being home, he never did any housework, so there were frustrations building up. In a way, this was good timing. To think a husband who just stays home and occasionally shows up at community events or walks with the kids could be mistaken for a good husband or father is beyond naive. Job hunting. To the astonished Candace, I explained, "My husband is unemployed. The one earning $300,000 is me." You're lying, right? You just want to trick me into giving him back. Even now, Candace seemed to be in a dream world. I run a company, so my income is over $300,000. Upon hearing this, Candace, perplexed, exclaimed over the phone, "A business owner." What? Well, it's still a small company, but I'm not struggling for money. Candace remained skeptical. It's up to you what to think. But when a supposed company employee like my ex-husband can't show a pay slip, it's quite telling, isn't it? Anyway, I'll be requesting compensation through a lawyer. So please don't contact me directly from now on. After conveying this, I ended the call and blocked her from my side. Despite going through a lawyer, Candace, now unemployed after quitting her part-time job to marry my ex-husband and getting pregnant, and the perpetually job-hunting Alex, also unemployed, had agreed to pay the compensation in installments. Later, I heard from friends that the continuous arguments between Alex and Candace led to their imminent divorce. It made sense, given neither did housework nor worked. Staying with such a husband had no value. I believe Alex initially didn't want a divorce because he was eyeing my money. Indeed, why give up such a convenient arrangement where he didn't need to work? Regarding the division of assets, the agreement stated no such division, ensuring my finances remained untouched. Alex signed the agreement without fully understanding its contents, apparently unaware. Naturally, his unrealistic job applications meant his re-employment struggles continued. To hide this from Candace, he incurred debts and was now juggling multiple part-time jobs while living in a cheap apartment. As for Candace, I recently saw her screaming in front of the house they once shared, demanding reconciliation with Alex, who understandably refused her. Despite her persistence, including knocking on the door and taking their child without permission, she received a restraining order, barring her from approaching Alex and their child. She's now under watch at her parents' home, unable to leave. I learned this from Alex. And further conversation revealed Candace's ex-husband worked for a major company. At the neighborhood association meetings, people gossiped that he had a higher-than-average salary and would take the kids out by himself, giving Candace her free time. Discarding such a wonderful husband due to her misconceptions will surely be a lifelong regret for her. Since then, I've moved with my children to a new place, close enough to our old home and my parents' house, without necessitating a change in schools for the kids. Alex showed little interest in the children, who didn't care much for a father who never fulfilled his role, so his absence didn't bother them. Years have passed since these events, and we live a peaceful and happy life without any harm.